Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. United States, the UK, Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, Africa. Thank you for watching the PRO-UNITATE podcast collaboration between Usosa and TNN. We are opportune to have the Vice President General of Usosa on the platform today. We had the President General earlier on, that was episode 1. Technically, we should have had the VPG as episode 2, but she's a very busy lady. She travels everywhere, making sure that the association is moving according to plan. VPG's name is, should I say barrister?
Barrister, please.
Chinedu Amure. She is a northern queen. She went to FGGC Bakori. She is the set of 1988. I think their set was the first GS3, SS3 formation. Then why they did it, I don't know. Have they moved it back? I don't know. I think it's still there. Vice President General has been Vice President General since 2022. She was the legal advisor of Usosa between 2018 and 2022 before she decided to become Vice President General. As usual, Chioma is here. Mrs. Aniwe, PRO. I'm very proud of Chioma. She's doing a great job for Usosa as well as the TNN podcast. We'll let Chinedu, again, forgive my boldness. We'll let VPG introduce herself, tell us a bit about her early years, and most especially why Bakori. VPG.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, David, for that introduction. I cite my sister Chioma. Good evening.
Good evening, VPG.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here after many attempts to get me. I'm really pleased that we can finally do it. So yes, as you've already stated, my name is Chinedu Amure. Yes, the Vice President General of Usosa. Prior to this, I was the legal advisor. So you wanted to hear about my early years. Okay, so I was born in Owerri, but moved over to Lagos at the age of 1 and grew up in Lagos. I speak fluent Yoruba as a result of that. After primary school, I took the common entrance, and really and truly, I wasn't aiming to go to Bakori. I was going to go to Queen's College, Lagos. But my mom had other ideas. She said, she wasn't so keen on Queen's College because she said the girls were always loitering. And I would protest and say, Mommy, the people you see are day students. But she was adamant. Okay, I chose QC. I chose Bakori. And the next thing I knew, I saw myself in Bakori. However, I was like number 3 or 4 on the list for that year. I mean, I was like among the first 20 students whom they gave the federal scholarship to due to my performance in the common entrance.
Wow.
So I must have scored very high. And throughout Bakori, my parents didn't pay school fees.
Oh, wow.
I was on that scholarship that they give the first 20 best performing students each year, that the federal government did for every federal school. I don't know if they still do it, but in my time they did it. And Bakori, as much as I kind of resisted going to Bakori, but when I got there, I say to everybody today, I'm so glad that was the school I went to. The principal, Mrs. Robinson, I think she's practically has become a legend in the annals of education in Nigeria. She was so good. She was a disciplinarian. At the same time, she was motherly. And she made us girls believe that we could be anything we wanted to be in this world. We could be the president of Nigeria. We could be anything. And she drove us. She instilled values in us that till today we still have. And she made sure, I don't know how she did it, but we are so closely knit in Bakori. And when you meet a Bakorian, you know, I believe we are very different. I believe we are unique and we are go-getters. I asked my mother after a while, I asked her why she chose Bakori. Because my mom was born in Kaduna. So I thought the bias was also because she grew up in Kaduna and she went to a really prominent girls' school then, which was Queen of Apostles, but which is currently Queen Amina. So she said no, that Bakori, she talked to me about Bakori because she had just started working with the Federal Ministry of Education when I was about to do my common entrance.
Right.
And she asked people in the ministry that of all these federal schools, that which one did they think I should go to? And she said everybody told her that as of 1982, that Bakori was the best federal government girls' college. That not Queen's College, Federal Government Girls College, Bakori was the very best. And they said that was because the principal there, Mrs. Robinson, was doing a great job.
Extremely well.
So it was like that was the school that girls wanted to go to. That's why we call ourselves Queens of the North. If you're a Northerner, you know, even if you went to other federal schools in the North, they would say, oh, Bakori girls, we are always feeling. And because they also knew that Bakori was such a solid school. I've met people who went to Queen's College who told me that they came to QC, but that Bakori was the school they wanted to come to. And some will say, oh, I came to QC, but Bakori was my second choice. Or I wanted to go to Bakori, but somehow my parents were in Lagos, and so they sent me to QC. So Bakori was that good. Results, everything to show for it. Until today, when you meet Bakorians, you know that Mrs. Robinson, the legacy that she's left is still like, speaking till today. So from the time my mom gave me that explanation about Bakori, I already believed it because I knew the school was so solid. The school was very solid. And I mean, even though it was tucked away in that place, it was still the school that everybody tried to bring their children to. We had governors who were governors that were not of Kaduna State, but all their children were in Bakori. And their schools, their own states had federal girls' schools there, but they chose to bring them to Bakori. I mean, I know that every federal school is good, and at that time we all had prominent people there. But I mean, all the top men in the north, their daughters all came to Bakori. At a time when the president was Buhari, his daughter was in Bakori. But the beauty of it was that my principal did not give a hoot about who your parent was. So she was firm and she disciplined everybody, and everybody followed the rules. And if you broke the rules, the punishment was the same for everybody. I believe that's
sorry. Yeah. With regards to your camaraderie, Bakori ladies, I witnessed that firsthand in Canada. I saw how you guys bonded together when you came on stage, sang your school anthem. It was very, very impressive.
Thank you.
We had the current president of your alumni association, that's the Bakori Old Girls Association, on the platform quite recently. The narrative is exactly the same, almost, about your principal, the discipline, the way she instructed you ladies that you could be everything you wanted to be. And that's bearing fruit at the moment. I mean, a lady of your accomplishment, a legal practitioner with over 28 years experience, providing legal advisory and leadership within the challenging goal-oriented organizations and corporate environments in Nigeria and also the UK. from my understanding, you are a dual citizen. You spend time in Nigeria, you've spent time in the UK. Give us one unique experience in Bakori, one very unique experience that you will never forget.
Okay. I don't want it to be so personal. Okay. I can say speech day, coming out to the stage and receiving 3 prizes at Ego and being called the second best student overall. Now, I won't forget that because my mom came all the way from Lagos for that. And it was such an exciting day for me in my small age. So yes, that is something I remember all the time, even though speech days almost became irregular for me. But that very first time, yes, that is a day I wouldn't forget. Then I think other days, most days were special in Bakori, so long as you were not serving punishment. Most days were special. And then, of course, visiting days were special. So
you looked forward to visiting days where your mom will come with all the goodies.
All the goodies. And if she did not come, other mothers would come.
Oh, right.
So we eat from other people's moms.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
That was
Chairman,
the beauty of it.
Okay, thank you very much, BJ. Like I said, thank you for joining us. We've been trying to do this for some time, but it's good to have you here. And David had asked one experience that you had that changed you. I'm just wondering, given where you are today, he had just tried to read briefly. That was briefly your profile. But I'm just wondering, everybody has talked about Mrs. Robinson. Is there any particular thing that today in the office that you see that tells you that that's one thing that you picked from Mrs. Robinson's teaching or molding? What is that one thing that when you sit in the meetings, when you in your life, that you just know that this one, like we say, is this person that did this one? You know that it's Mrs. Robinson and no one else.
Yeah.
So just share with us.
I would say resilience. Resilience. I would say resilience, as in not giving up even when the thing looks difficult.
David,
Yes, that I would say.
Here we go again.
yes, resilience.
Resilience. If I say, I don't.
Go on.
When things don't work out for me, I don't dwell on it. I do it again, and I know it will work. But that is the mindset that Mrs. Robinson had put in all of us. As in, even I always say something about Bakori, that there were people who, while we were in school, were not, I won't say they were not smart, but maybe they were not so doing very well with grades. But do you know that by the time we were leaving school, these people, when the WAEC result came out, it was like, it can't be the same person with all these A's. This is someone we knew that when we started. But that's because the teachers and Mrs. Robinson in particular, because she was also the one that took us on guidance and counseling, even though she was the principal. So she had a way of really encouraging you and making you know that if it's that you are playing too much, you have to, be more focused and everything. So she was that one person I know that made me understand that the fact that something didn't just happen immediately doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And it's just for you to keep at it. So if it's resilience, I know that Bakori taught me that.
Okay.
And really and truly being able to, even I think most boarding schools, but being able to manage in any difficult situation you find yourself, that one definitely we learned that one in school.
Resilience is a thing. It's a theme with Usosans, isn't it, Chioma?
Yes, everyone that has come here has said the word resilience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The never give up spirit of Usosans.
Oh yes.
Never give up spirit.
It's us.
It just takes me to one thing that is dear to my heart: mentorship. If all of us in all the people we have interviewed, because I'm really looking forward to interviewing the younger generation. I'm looking forward to hearing one word that is common with them. If it's still this resilience has been sustained in those worlds. So how do you cover the gap? How do we ensure that this resilience that everyone that has come here has said, how do you ensure that it's sustained and is carried on to the younger people? You are very active in your association and Usosa as a larger body.
Yeah. So I'll start by saying, because I'm even a people person naturally, people tend to come around me. And I believe strongly in mentoring the younger ones. So my understanding, what I've realized is that the people that went to FGCs much later, maybe like this one's coming up now, they still have our core values, but maybe just not as much as when we were in school. But that is due to no fault of theirs, because we also know the country has kind of changed. So unity schools don't have that much diversity that they had when we were in school. So for them, Usosa is something that helps them, because now Usosa, you still have people who have the values, who were in federal government colleges in the 70s. You have even the people who started in the 60s, people who still have those core values, and we impact them on the younger ones by one, obviously, involving them in everything we're doing and being able to set good examples. And of course, preaching this our constant unity and letting them see just by how we act and how we behave, how we could all be one Nigeria. So I think that way we kind of cover this gap of this resilience by even our own, even how we are and how we achieve. So when they see this, they also know that the way they reason is not just the only way to see things, because a lot of them see things a bit differently from us, all because of the differences that have happened in the country, apart from the age issue. So I believe strongly in mentoring the younger ones steadily, and obviously Usosa, just being with us in Usosa, I know that this is already happening, as in it's already, we can see the impact on the younger ones. We've met people who have reasoned in a certain way, but after a bit of time being active in Usosa, they've already started to align, and they're looking at the bigger picture. So I think the association itself, Usosa itself, is already doing something like that. Is already working on that, and is I'm already seeing positive results in the few people that I've noticed that need that mentoring.
Let's talk about Usosa.
I'm not sure I've really answered that question properly.
You're very passionate about Usosa. You're also passionate about child education. I know that Usosa, through your leadership and the President General's leadership, has been in keen talks with the Education Ministry. Initially, the current head of service was it the PAMSEC or the Minister of Education?
Permanent Secretary.
I understand that the current PAMSEC as well is Usosa. So this question from Chioma regarding mentoring, how are you guys working with the Education Ministry to improve the lot of the current crop of young ones in all the OSAs? I believe that's what we call them. What is the ministry doing? What's the pressure being put on them to try and take a bit more control and improve not just the education, but mentorship and welfare of our children?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I'll start by saying that the current head of civil service, when she was the PAMSEC in the Ministry of Education, she had, due to the constant advocacy from Usosa, and of course, she herself, as a Usosan, she's actually very passionate about Usosa also and about the welfare of the students and the state of affairs of our unity schools. So it was easy for the advocacy to work with her. She actually made sure that we moved from just having a Usosa desk in the ministry to having someone actually man that desk. So, I mean, they're dedicated staff on that Usosa desk. So when we come with our problems, there's a straight line of who would handle it. And to take things further, she set up a committee looking into the rehabilitation of the schools, so to speak. So she set up a committee made up of 3 directors in the Ministry of Education and 3 Usosans, so 6 people, to look into it. They'd gone and done a needs assessment, and they'd come back to say that, okay, they will start with 15 schools to look into what the needs were across board. And then after revamping that, they will go to the next set of schools. So that's one thing that they've done in that regard. Another thing is this. Most of the old student associations, the school-based committees, the SBMCs, we've tried to make sure that all OSAs or OGAs have one member of the association sitting there. That way, because they've already attended those schools, they bring more insight into the issues concerning the school and make sure that these issues are given the attention required. So, having said this, these are some of the ways that Usosa and the Ministry of Education are working to make sure that the students are well catered for, and and not just about revamping the schools, they also think of the welfare of the students. Another thing is this: some OSAs actually even go further. Some of them actually are involved in maybe, excuse me, please.
Bless you.
Some of them, hold on, please. I beg your pardon. Okay, some of them are involved in, some schools have said they've kind of like not directly hiring teachers, but maybe doing a bit extra with teachers, or maybe saying, okay, youth corpers, maybe you can pay them a bit extra so that they can take some classes to, to cover some gaps in the teaching of the students. So some OSAs have gone that far. So between Usosa, the alumni, and the Ministry of Education, they're trying their best to make sure that, they're trying to have a holistic solution to the issues we have in the schools. So I think that's really a step in the right direction, because that left to alumni people, they will take over everything and do it themselves. However, we must work with the Ministry of Education, and they on their own side, more than ever, they're doing a whole lot. And of course, it's also thanks to the fact that, yes, the PAMSEC is a Usosan, I believe FGC Kano, and the head of service, of course, is a Usosan. So right now, things are working even much better for us. Having said so, I think it was in the news that the president had actually earmarked a certain sum of money for the revamping of unity schools, and I know this is only because of this advocacy that Usosa has been doing.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, David.
All right, Choma.
I'm experiencing a bit of technical, but just before, in case it throws me out, just before I go, there's one burning question I would want to ask. Is about women in Usosa. Now we have a male VPJ. There are lots of women who are looking up to you because of your position in Usosa. I'm wondering, are there plans that you have for them? Are there, is there, because across everywhere you see women in business, women in this. I'm just wondering if you have plans to also bring this, bring women together. Is there any plan that you have? What have you been doing in terms of trying to make sure that women come together as well in Usosa?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That's actually something that is very passionate about women. So my intention is actually to launch a Women in Usosa initiative sometime very early next year. I've been thinking of doing it, but I believe that very early next year will be a good time to launch it. So already before even having launched it, each year for the International Women's Day, I always bring out new initiatives for women. I think 2 years ago, we had a situation whereby we gave Usosa women free medical screening, pap smear screening for like over 60 of Usosa women, free of charge. I funded some of it, and I got some other Usosans to support to do the funding. So for that year, we did that. Then last year, what we did, we said, okay, let's leave the medicals alone and look at empowerment. So we asked, we had an opportunity to send some people for courses, and then who didn't want to have go on those courses, we gave the opportunity to enhance their business. So we asked, and to make sure we also encourage Usosas who pay their dues on time. I mean, the schools, the OSAs and OGAs who pay on time. We said, okay, the first 10 people to have paid the Usosa dues, that we will take people from the association and just as a way of also encouraging others, we would do this. So we had some young ladies said they would rather go on the courses. So we sent them on a 1-month course on data application, data sciences. And those courses were such that immediately they equipped you to get jobs immediately. So we paid for them and they went on the courses. Then some said, okay, I have a business, but it's not really doing well. I wouldn't mind if I had seed money to start or to just add to what I already have. And we also did that. So Usosa is really very involved in women empowerment. We believe in equality. So as you can see, Usosa has had a BOT chairman before, was a lady. And of course, this is the first time they have a vice president general as a woman. But all in all, the women, we do not discriminate, and we don't want the women to think, we don't want other Usosas to think, oh, this is something special they're doing for women. No. So, but because culturally, you tend to have more indigent women than men, and there's some problems unique to women. So we try to address those issues that are unique to women. We try to meet those needs and kind of, make it easier for them. So next year, hopefully, by the time we launch the Usosa for women, there's some kind of loans that some banks give, and they give to only women, really. So we want to be able to, take advantage of all those kind of opportunities for our own women also. Thank you.
VPG, why Usosa? It's a selfless service. You don't get paid for it. What attracted you to leadership? Why did you want to become part of Usosa, and what's the driving force behind you as a person aspiring to leadership positions?
So for Usosa, I would say that need in me to give back. I like humanitarian services, and which better way to start but to look at Usosa? Like they say, charity begins at home. So I looked at Bakori first. I started with Bakori, and after holding different positions in Bakori, And going back to the school, in fact, when I went back to the school and kind of saw the state the school was in, which was quite different from when we were in school, a bit more dilapidated. In fact, dilapidated to an extent. So, and a lot of us were trying to do stuff to give back, to fix, so until we now said, okay, you know what, as an association, let's do it together and also know what the ministry is doing. And that drove me into looking at even other schools, because we all have the same unique problems. And I was like, yes, as only Bakori, if you do your advocacy, you'll be listened to. But the reality is that when you go as Usosa, for sure is greater impact. The government must listen. We're over 1 million. There's no way you can ignore an association that big. So that is why I decided that Usosa is the place to go and try to advance and proffer solutions to our problems. Leadership, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll say, because also I want to make sure that things are done properly. So I want to be in the forefront. I want to be among the people driving change. Already, I'm the first child in my family, so maybe leadership even comes a bit naturally to me.
Right.
So yes, but the main thing for Usosa is that giving back and trying to make sure that in any little way we can, we make things also easier for those of us within Usosa who are a bit indigent, because all fingers are not equal. I would say, really, that's really been my driving force, that giving back, that humanitarian side of me, and trying to make sure also that the state of affairs of our schools, we want them to be, at the very least, the way they were, but we really want them to be better. Because when we were in school, there were really no private schools per se. The golden grail was really to go to a federal government college. I mean, that was the thing. The education was top notch. We were practically international schools. We had so many foreigners in our schools. And the government even used our schools as one of the tools with which they fought apartheid, because they brought in a lot of South Africans, Namibians. Even our schools were part of what the Nigerian government used to assist our brothers in South Africa to free them from apartheid. So, yes, I would really like a situation whereby we are even better than that. I understand that a country like Rwanda, almost everybody is back in public schools.
Right.
Private schools are not a thing so much anymore. So that is really my vision for Nigeria, where private schools, I'm not trying to take business out of private schools, people's hands, but we want it to be such that our federal government colleges are back to exactly where they used to be, and even better. That is really
with your resilience, with your leadership, I'm sure you'll deliver this to the people, and the people will be happy under your leadership. For the audience, VPG's core competencies are in negotiations, resilience, relationship management, and litigation. As we all know, she's a highly qualified barrister of law. Part of her experiences include being part of the management team in the commercial department in Nigeria, Ajib Oil Company. She did that for a bit, but is currently with, I believe, a company called Oando Energy Resources. That's where she works from. She gets paid, she funnels that into Usosa, which is a selfless service. She's all over the place. She was recently in Port Harcourt, was it? For the funeral of one of our great patrons or resources, you might say. She spearheads arbitrations, litigations, revenue growth, and partnerships. She was a principal partner, Charles Hills and Co-Solicitors, in the UK. Like I mentioned earlier, she's a dual citizen. She's got British nationality and Nigerian nationality. She's a solicitor of the Supreme Court of England and Wales. She's got a Master's of Law in Corporate Finance Law. She got that from the University of Westminster, London, UK in 2007, a long time ago. Her profile will be on the TNN website, the new Nigerian website, so you can follow her progress and her profile when it's released on the website. Let's talk about current solutions that Usosa are engaged in. Education is very key. I know at the moment Usosa is partnering with some internet-based technical solutions. I know you're bringing classrooms, digital classrooms. Yeah. I know you're trying to partner with Alumni Hub to get your members in one place, so you have better management of them. Talk a bit about that to the audience.
Okay. As a very progressive association, Usosa is in the forefront of also, moving with the times. So we have partnerships with WowBe, who is providing smart classrooms for us. Ever since the Education Summit, I think that was last year or so, we had obviously accelerated this. So some OGAs and OSAs have actually started. At least I know that FGGC BIDA has commissioned a smart classroom. They did that for their 50th anniversary, and other schools too. Then obviously Alumni Hub, we are with them, and a lot of the OSAs have come on. And I know that even Bakori, we already get to join. We've already started making more progress in that regard. So we'll soon be very much there. And yes, so these are some of the initiatives. Already Usosa Saints has partnered with Budget. Budget is a solutions-based organization whereby you can see what the Ministry of Education is doing in the federal schools. You can see the budget, you can see what projects they have done. So that way, let's say I want to do something in Bakori, for example. If I look at budget, I can see what the federal government has penciled down to do or what they've already done, so that we do not duplicate efforts.
Absolutely.
So that way you do not duplicate efforts. So Usosa continues to partner with well-meaning organizations for the betterment of our unity schools. We are a very major stakeholder in the education sector.
Absolutely. Any further ambitions after VPG? Are you going to declare now? Is there something the audience need to know and be prepped for?
We'll just say, as the Lord directs. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I'm the Vice President General, and this is where I am at right now.
Brilliant. I won't press further. So, anything about diaspora? You have a lot of Usosans in diaspora. I know you've been touring quite a bit. You were in Canada, you were in the US trying to set something up. What's the progress with that? Enlighten the audience back in Nigeria, and how are we going to finally unite the whole diaspora Nigeria resource so that we can do more, not only for the federal schools, not only for Usosa, but for the nation as a body? You did mention that we're 1 million strong. Tell us about that.
So yes, the immediate past President General Lawrence Wilbert was the one that, first of all, set up the Usosans in the UK platform, which was the first Usosans in diaspora platform. And building on that, the current President General, under him, we now have Usosans in Canada, we have Usosans in the US, we have Usosans in South Africa as the diaspora platforms. And we had the first Usosa in diaspora event, I think, last year. Was it last year in the UK?
Yes.
Yes, last year in the UK. The very first time. And 5 of us from the ESCO attended. So it was very well attended. And then this year we did the one in Canada. Myself, the President General and the Secgen were the ESCO people who went. And after that, I've been to the United States where we already set up the platform for the US, the WhatsApp platform. But after the Canada plenary, there was more excitement and more awareness. US people wanted to also get very involved. So now we've built that platform from a membership of 60 something before the Canada plenary to 300 and something as we speak. So you can tell there's a lot of excitement about, oh, this Usosa thing. Before, Usosa was happening only within the confines of Nigeria. People abroad knew of it. But because of the need to bring Usosa closer to its members, we've come up with all these Usosa in city groups, and there was a real need for the diaspora. They really wanted to have a feel of the Usosa and be involved in the giving back projects we're doing. So we set up these other ones, and the response has been amazing. So we are all still the same Usosa family. Someone asked me in the US that what was the expectation for them in the United States? And I'm like, no, the expectation is still the same expectation for everybody. So you're still answerable to Usosans in Nigeria, the global Usosa. And your values, our values are all the same. Our mission is the same. So it's not going to be different from country to country. No, it's the same thing. If there's any difference, maybe to exist as an association, there might be a few rules in the country where you are that you must follow, which is not what is happening in Nigeria. So, of course, we do not break rules. So, we follow the laws of whichever country we see ourselves in. And that's the only thing. But every other thing is the same thing. So, for all the giving back projects, for even touching each other's lives, and making everybody better, everything, the mission is the same.
The mission is the same.
All the city groups. So we're all on the same path.
Absolutely. Chief Lawrence Wilbert was my classmate in primary school. In all honesty, he absolutely introduced me to, or made me aware of Usosa. I've been in the UK for a long time. I didn't even think about anything about Nigeria until 2017. A friend took me to a political activity, and I suddenly realized how Nigerians in diaspora were interested in things going on back home. And then speaking with Lawrence, and Lawrence floating the idea of associations in diaspora. Between you and I, obviously the audience will know now, I immediately set up a group of 20 on WhatsApp. I brought in Usosa members from various schools in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and I added the President General then, Lawrence Wilbert.
Yes.
And Lawrence said to me, David, take that down. We are not quite ready. We will get there. And of course, it's you run it. So I backtracked a bit. And I'm so happy that at the moment, things are falling into place, and I'm a keen follower of Usosa, and I intend to keep contributing my part, which I'm doing at the moment.
Everything has grown organically. So
Yes, you're absolutely right.
organic growth. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We have 10 minutes. It's now your turn to ask me any question you like about me, about TNN. We do this in every show.
Okay. So, can you tell me a bit more about TNN? Is Usosa your only focus?
Very good question. TNN stands for the New Nigerian. Like I was saying, after going to that political thing with my friend, who is ironically an Usosa, and he went to FGC Maiduguri. He's the son of the previous Oba of Benin. He took me to a Benin political activity.
Yeah.
And after that meeting, my first thought was, wow, people are still interested in Nigeria. People want to give back. Okay, why don't I do something creative? So I concentrated on Edo State. I formed a platform called Edo Now. The intention was to get diasporans, Edo diasporans, working with the new government of Godwin Obaseki at that time in giving back to Edo State. Things didn't go as planned. Unfortunately, the platform was hacked. It was brought down. Quite a lot of the internal politics of Nigeria are a bit too hard for me, so I backed out of all of that. Thought about things for another 6-7 months, and I said, listen, I'm a child of Nigeria. I went to a federal school. I was born in Jos. I grew up in Lagos. I speak Hausa. I speak Yoruba. Why don't I just do this thing on a larger scale? So I thought about the New Nigerian. The New Nigerian is a platform that tries to bridge the gap between diaspora and Nigeria. So we take the best from diaspora, we add it to the best in Nigeria, and get them to do projects within Nigeria. I'm very proud to say things are happening, like you said, organically. We have people doing things that have left diaspora to do things in Nigeria. Take, for example, Dr. Tayo Ikudaisi. He is a regenerative surgeon. He was on this platform just on the verge of setting up a clinic in Lagos. As we speak, he does operations in Lagos. His regenerative surgery reverses strokes. So if one has a stroke, he can actually reverse that. You know, he's a fantastic person. We have other people in the agric sector, in the educational sector. We're trying to engineer the brain drain reverse. We call it the reverse brain drain. Get our best back to Nigeria. Where is the best platform to harness this resource? Usosa. Usosa is a fantastic platform to harness this resource based on the education and the mindset of the people. So we are now starting this after consultations with yourselves. We decided, why not a good collaboration? We bring our best on, we showcase them. At some point, we start to engage them even deeper to give back. We hope that we can get the technological people, YOB or what you call them, on to collaborate with Alumni Hub. As you know, Alumni Hub encompasses everything. And you're absolutely right. Bakori, the Northern Queens, according to your president, she said we will not be the last. Queens of the North. So that's the short and long of the New Nigerian. We have impacted agriculture. We do what we call Feed the Children every Christmas. We've been doing it for 5 years. We're having, I think, the biggest one this year, 1,000 children to be fed. We will give out 2 scholarships. We will give the girl child sanitary pads. I think there's a very big one in October in Lagos. I think I'm partnering with a foundation who is going to give out sanitary pads, I think, to over 600 girls in Lagos. They select a school and give back for the girl child. So again, we're just 5 years old. We're going to grow. We intend that maybe in 20 years' time, we have a bigger stake, and what we saw as a small vision becomes a bigger reality. It's not easy at the moment. Everything is out of pocket, but no bother. The joy of it is walking down the street with my son, and children are eating. And I say to him, son, as we're strolling now, you do know the good we're doing. Those people don't even know where it's coming from.
Yes.
It's a fantastic thing.
It's a fantastic feeling,
yeah. Go on.
So, okay. Another question, let me think. So, TNN. So where do you see TNN in the next 5 years? What do you think you people will be doing? Will it still just be this, or
I think we'll have increased our presence in agriculture, increased our presence in health, increased our presence in education. Those are the core areas. We again, the change we're seeking must start from the top to the bottom. My personal opinion, because I'm a political, getting the country to where we want it to be would probably be to start the reorientation with the current crop of primary 1 down to KG 1. And start changing their mindsets. We can only do that through education. We can only do that with the support of leadership. The leverage that Usosa have can come into play, which is already happening. You've given us instances of your relationship with the Ministry of Education, the head of service. We understand the president himself is a honorary King's College. Exactly. So it must come from the top, and the only way it will happen is for us to keep highlighting leaders like yourself, leaders like the President General, leaders of our OSAs, leaders of our OGAs, who can come together and create a force that will be able to leverage in government. This is so in 5 years' time, I do definitely see that our presence will have grown again organically, just as Usosa is growing. I do hope that Usosa continues on its current path, because the function Usosa is doing at the moment is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to the leadership of President General Michael Magaji. He saw immediately the value in showcasing our best, and that's why we have this platform set up. So, a little about me. Federal Government College Idoani, 1986 set. We were the set just before your JS. Exactly.
The 633
we got away with it.
You escaped.
Exactly. I went to the University of Benin. I read history. I've been in the UK for a very long time now. Like I said, I didn't think about anything to do with Nigeria until those two meetings. But again, it's all for the good. Audience, you've heard a bit about me. You've heard from our Vice President General. 1 hour has come and gone. We would like to stay here for 10 hours, give you gist. Isn't that what it's called? Give you a lot of gist, but unfortunately, VPG is very busy. I'm sure she has a heavy schedule for tomorrow as usual. We're going to let her.
I make time for you, Usosa, all the time.
You do, and I'm very grateful. Please follow our pages, the PRO-UNITATE podcast page. You will see the flow across the bottom of this video. TNN, we're on YouTube. Usosa, we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Help support us by sharing, clicking the like button, subscribing. Let's get a bit of the what's it called? The YouTube funding, the Facebook funding to improve the platform. We wanted another year when we are doing this, the quality is better. It could even be from a studio anywhere in the UK or in Nigeria. Make us proud by liking. Thank you so much, VPG. I want to give you the last word to the audience, both at home and in diaspora.
Thank you very much for having me. And I want to say, Usosans, I would like to say that we should continue to, showcase our core values by the way we behave, by our actions. Let us be known as children of Nigeria just by our actions, knowing that we embody the values of unity, peace, love. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for having me this evening.
You're most welcome. Hopefully there'll be a part 2. I see a vision of President General sitting with me and talking to me in the near future. That would be a lovely thought, and we'll remember that when we talk. There will be a part 2 at some point. Thank you, audience. I'm going to let the audience go now and then share a minute or two with you.